Good morning, everyone. This is Cate Wolff, and I am recording from my home in the Easy Does It yoga series. We do a regular routine in our classes, and seeing as we don't have a ballet barre available to us, some kind of a counter that you can grab onto would work beautifully. So those of you who have been taking my classes know the drill, and those of you who are new to this, you can try this series and see how you like it. We are going to start with our series, the protocol we do in every class, and then we will move to a mat for the end of class. So we're just going to begin to warm up. So when you're ready, you could turn towards your kitchen counter or whatever surface you're using, and then a nice wide stance with the feet and moving the hips in a circle. Nice big circles. You may have just gotten out of bed, or this may be the first thing you're doing this morning, so feel free to take your time and choose how large the circles are that you are making. You can pull away from your surface so that you get all the support you need. And then changing direction, circling hips, breathing, and then coming to standing. So from here, I can't lift my leg because my kitchen is narrow, but if you can do so. Either way, coming into a flat back. So I'm just going to show you from the side, a flat back. The feet are directly underneath the hips, and the tailbone is pressed back, and the head is between the arms. The rib cage is soft here. So from here, I'm going to turn this way. So from this position, lifting the right leg up and extending it way out behind you, crown of the head reaching the other direction. Nice long reach here. Imagine that someone is giving your leg a little gentle tug. And then swinging the right leg through and stepping it forward, bending into the front knee so that the knee is right over the ankle. The back foot is lifted from the heel, and you're on the ball of the foot. And you can see that one foot isn't right behind the other. You want to make sure that you have your feet hip width apart, even in this position. And then from here, you can hold on. We can hold on with one arm, or you can let go with both and sink into what is called the warrior pose. Breathing, lifting through the heart. Taking another moment here, and then bringing the hands down, pressing off with the front foot, down with the back, flattening out the back one more time. Nice long reach, and then lifting the left foot, bringing it up and extending it out, the crown reaching the other direction. Nice long reach. And then swinging the right foot through, left foot through, and coming into a bent knee, ankle and knee right in line with one another. And then the back foot is lifted. And then from here, excuse me a minute. Sorry, got lost there. Okay, and then we're stepping the foot in, and then reaching up, overhead, or holding on with one hand, sinking into the hips, heart and head lift slightly. And making sure that you're fueling the body with oxygen. Hand comes down to the counter or whatever you're using. And then again, we're in a flat back position. And breathing here. And then from here, lifting away, lifting the upper body up, and we're dropping the hips forward. And the heels can lift slightly, or you can work with pressing them down towards the floor and opening the heart, opening the head, and feeling that stretch, and then coming to a standing position and pausing for a moment. Okay, so when you're ready, you can take hold of your surface with the right hand. The closer you are to your surface, the more of an arch you have, so you can experiment with that. And then arching out to the side, and you can straighten that arm and having a nice angle from the feet outside of the left foot all the way up through the left fingertips. And feeling the opening in the rib cage. Pausing here for a moment. And then pulling yourself in and releasing. And then my back to you, unfortunately, I'm sorry. And then lifting the other side, right arm comes up, and we're hinging in. And breathing. Taking another moment. And then opening the arm and releasing down. And you should feel nice and long on the sides of your body. And pausing for a moment. And we're going to begin with just warming up the legs a little bit before we do our strengthening movement. We're going to just warm up a little bit. So coming away from your surface, bringing your weight onto your left foot. And if you need to hold onto the counter or need a chair, or the counter is too high for you and you would like to put your foot up on a chair, you're welcome to do so. Either way, lifting, seeing if you can balance. Again, you can hold on if you like to a surface. The knee is in line with whatever you're putting your foot on. So if you're putting on the chair, bringing your foot right up near the chair and seeing if you can hold for a moment, and then extending the leg out and taking hold of your surface on either side of the foot and bending into that right leg and lifting through the head, and you'll feel a big stretch, inner thigh, back of the thigh, and the front of the supporting leg. And breathing for a moment here, and then pressing your hips back and letting the right leg just extend back, tucking the chin in, feeling the opening. So you don't want to force the knee straight, but you just want to land where the body takes you. Taking a moment here, if you'd like. And then drawing the belly in and keeping the legs straight and lifting your arms. Again, you can use the chair at your side for support if you need it, or whatever props you need to help you. And then drawing the belly in and hinging forward once again. Legs stay straight. And if you want to accentuate this stretch, you can reach the crown of the head out towards the toes. And then once more, drawing the belly in and lifting the upper body. And then releasing the arms down and bending into the front knee just a little bit. Drawing the belly in, bringing the foot away, and nice and slowly bringing it to the floor when you're ready. All right. And then when you're ready, bringing the weight onto the right leg. Left knee lifts. The knee can be in line with the surface you're going to place the foot on, or you can hold on with a chair, and then bringing the foot up and bending into the knee. And you might notice a lot of tension if you're doing this first thing in the morning like I am. I can really feel my body this morning after being still in bed for 8 hours. Breathing, feeling the stretches in the legs, and then extending your hips back, dropping the head and chest. We're straightening out the leg. We're not forcing it straight, but going where it takes us, where we land. Chin tucks into the chest if that works for you. Breathing here. And then drawing the belly in, lifting the upper body up overhead, pausing for a moment here, drawing the belly in as you hinge forward one more time. And there's a little balance to that for sure. Tucking the chin in, using the breath to fuel the body. And then slowly lifting away. Once again, as the belly gets drawn in, keeping that belly nice and taut as you lift, as you lift the left foot away and bring it down to the floor and shake out the legs. Ooh. And noticing how you're feeling right now. Okay. Taking another moment to pause, get a drink of water if you need one. And then when you're ready, come to the bar or wherever you're being supported. The feet are turned out and a little wider than hip width apart. And then we're going to come up onto the ball of the foot. Nice big lift. The heels are lifted. And then bending into the knees. We're now beginning to build strength in the quads. And then lifting all the way up. Stay on the ball of your foot. And then bend into the knee. Good. And you get to decide how much you want to bend. You can come way down, or you can just come down a little bit. And wherever you are, drop the heels and straighten the legs. And then bend into both knees, lift the heels, and press all the way up. Heels are lifted, breathing, bending into the knees. Feeling the strength building, pressing all the way up again to the ball of the foot, bending into the knees. Release the heels and straighten the legs. And then bending into both knees, lift the heels, pausing and then inhaling up to center, bending into the knees. Pressing all the way up. Bending into the knees, heels are lifted. Drop the heels, straighten the legs. Bend into the knees, lift the heels. Coming all the way up. Body is nice and straight, spine is nice and straight. Up onto the heels and then releasing down. Coming up onto the ball of the foot, bending into the knees. And breathing. And then coming all the way up onto the ball of the foot. One more time, bending into both knees. Dropping the heels and straightening the legs. And one more time, we're going to bend into the knees. Lift the heels. Pause here for a moment. Inhaling the breath, pressing all the way up. Bend into the knees. Breathing. Pressing up. Bend into the knees. Release the heels and come to standing. And we're going to do one more. Bending into the knees. This is the hard one. Lift the heels and inhaling up and then dropping the heels. And pausing for a moment, shaking it out a little bit. And we're going to do another series of leg strengtheners with the feet together now. So bringing the knees together, really drawing the thighs toward one another and coming up onto the ball of the foot. So coming up onto the ball of the foot, bending into the knees, back is straight, coming all the way up once again, breathing, bending into the knees, drop the heels and straighten the legs. Bend into the knees, lift the heels, coming all the way up. Onto the ball of the foot, bending into the knees. Release the heels and straightening. Bending into the knees, lift the heels, holding for a moment, and then inhaling all the way up. Keeping the heels lifted, bend into the knees. Releasing the heels and straightening the legs. Bend into the knees, lift the heels. Pause here, and then pressing all the way up. Keeping those heels lifted, bend into the knees. We're coming down, and then we're going to go all the way up. Make sure you're breathing. Bend into the knees. Release the heels and straighten the legs. And one more, bending into the knees. Lift the heels. Pause here for a moment. And then pressing all the way up. Bend into the knees. Pause. Lifting all the way up. And release the heels. And shake them out. And your thighs should really be feeling a lot of energy right now. I've noticed that my legs have gotten substantially stronger. I'm doing a lot of hiking in this time of social isolation, and my legs are just much stronger than they've ever been. So I hope that you will find the same thing too. So now that we have tightened up everything, we're going to just stretch those muscles out. So taking hold with the right hand, left foot comes up into the hand. If you can't take hold of the foot, grab your pant leg and draw that knee back, and then hinging forward and lifting and drawing the heel in towards your buttocks. Breathing here. Taking another moment or two. Bringing the upper body to an upright position, crossing the left ankle over the right thigh and bending into your right knee. And you may feel this again. We haven't done much hip stuff, so you may feel this quite a bit if it's early in the morning for you. Because walking warms the hips up, and I haven't been doing much walking, so I can really feel this. And you can just notice where you're feeling it and breathe. And then come into an upright position. And you might notice that leg feels a little bit looser. Okay, when you're ready, right foot comes into the right hand, or you can take hold of the pant leg, and then hinging forward, lifting that right knee up. The heel comes in towards the buttocks. And you should feel this in the front of your thigh. Breathing. And then releasing the leg, crossing it over the knee, right ankle, left knee, and then bending into the left knee. And again, you may feel this in your right hip. I do, certainly do. And breathing. The more you drop down, the more sensation you might build into that right hip. Take another moment or two here. And then lifting all the way up and shaking it out. And taking a pause as you feel ready to. So we strengthen the upper body as well in this class, as many of you know. So we're going to do some push-ups. You can decide whether you want your hands together, shoulder width apart, or wider than shoulder. Wherever you have your hands, the shoulder blades run down the back. The head is right over the shoulder, so you don't want to scoot it out in front. And how far away you step is how much weight you're lifting, so you can decide. And you can alter it. We're going to do 25 and then another 25. But you'll have a break in between, so you can change hand position. Feel free to adjust your feet as you need to. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And from here, you can drop your hips back. You can step in a little bit and come into a big squat. Your choice. Just stretching out the arms. And you're getting a little stretch in the low back here too. And then coming to standing. And then if you'd like to, you could try adjusting your hands to wider or closer together. Shoulder blades are down the back, head is directly over the shoulders. And 1, 2, and make sure you're breathing, shoulder blades down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Straightening the arms out, stretching your hips back, coming into a squat if that feels better to you. Pausing for a moment here. And then coming back up. Shaking the arms out. So normally we would have a bar and we would be holding the bar from underneath to do pull-ups, but we don't have that luxury unless you have a bar or something that you can wrap your the palms around from underneath. So I'm making use of my sink and I'm just going to have my hands over. And again, with this one, the closer you are to your surface, the more weight you're lifting. So we're leaning, we start by leaning out. And we just, again, we're making the body like a plank of wood. So it's all in line. And then we're going to draw ourselves in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Elbows are in, shoulder blades are down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're halfway there. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Let's do 10 more just because we can. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then stepping away, straightening out the arms, or coming into a squat, whichever works best for you. And then coming to standing and shaking out the arms. Okay, so we're going to do the triangle on the surface as a supported pose. So separate your feet so that they are about hip width, leg length apart. So at least a leg length. I find that the wider I can stand, it just feels like the posture is a little bit easier for me that way. So we're going to begin by turning the right foot slightly in. The left foot turns all the way out, and then looking to make sure that that left foot is midpoint to the back foot. And then turning the hips the same direction as the back foot. The arms come to the horizon, and then a nice long reach. So you can slide your hand along a counter. If you're using a counter, the right arm comes up overhead, and turning to look at the hand above or down at the foot below. And you can also experiment with bringing that arm right alongside the head, and that maybe accentuates the stretch for you a little bit. Breathing, taking another moment here. Nice long reach. Arm can be up, head can look down, or up at the hand above. And then drawing the belly in and bringing yourself back to center. And turning the feet forward and pausing for a moment. And then when you're ready, you can turn around if you need to. I'm going to just keep facing the same direction. The left foot is going to turn slightly in. The right foot is going to turn out. Make sure there's a nice space. And the right foot is midpoint to the left. And then the hips turn the same direction as the back foot. The arms come up again. And then there's a pressing out with the left hip and a reaching with the right arm. And then sliding it along your counter if you'd like. Bringing the left arm up overhead. Then you can turn and look at that hand above or down at the foot below, your choice. And then bringing the arm right alongside the head. Bringing the arm up, you can turn the head. And you can stay in this as long as you like, experimenting with different arm positions, taking another moment, and then drawing yourself back to center and bringing that foot in and bringing the legs in underneath you. And taking a pause We are going to do one more thing here in the kitchen, and then we'll go to the mat. So when you're ready, turning your back to your surface, the hands are going to come up onto the top of your surface. It's got to be something that you can wrap your fingers around. You don't want anybody falling on their faces. And again, the closer you are to your surface, the more arch you have. So you can experiment with that and dropping the hips forward here. Heart is lifted and open. Breathing. And this should feel really good and nice to the body. Maybe you want to experiment with bringing your hands closer together, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then drawing the hips back and letting your head, you got to hold on because you'll go forward if you're really close to your surface. Bending forward over the legs, nice soft knees. And then rolling all the way up. Okay, and that's it for the kitchen. So we are going to now head to the mat. So you can find your way towards your mat. And here we are. Okay. All right, so we will be doing a couple of core strengthening exercises. So when you're ready, you're welcome to join me if you'd like to position on your mat. And those of you who do my class regularly know the score here. So we're bringing the hands onto the mat. The entire fingertips, palm, forearms are engaged. And then the upper body is lowered down. And you can begin here. And then turning the toes under, and we're going to do 2 sets of 30 seconds. So when you're ready, lifting the hips and letting your head just be relaxed and breathing here. Hips are right in line with the rest of the body. Belly is drawn in. Making sure you're breathing. I'm wondering whether this is getting easier for anybody. I've noticed that at times it feels easier to me. I'm going to do 15 more. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing yourself down, bringing the hands underneath you. You can bend the knees and maybe windshield wiper the legs from side to side. And you can maybe feel your heart pounding. It tells you the work that goes into holding this. We're going to do another 30. You feel free to come in and out of it as you need to. And then when you're ready, turning the toes under, bringing the legs and the body away from the floor and coming into plank. And we're pausing here. Whole hand, forearm, everything is pressing down. That's what's holding you. And then making sure that you're breathing. Drawing the belly in. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then coming down, again, turning the head the opposite direction, and windshield wipering the legs. Okay. So I'm going to turn my mat sideways. So when you're ready, you can come back, turn onto your back. Taking a pause for a moment, feet are on the floor, knees drop in toward one another, and just pausing here for a moment. Okay, so when you're ready, we're going to do one more core strengthening. So the arms come behind, legs come up so that the calves are parallel to the floor. And we're going to extend the left leg and bring the right arm in. And then changing sides. And we're going to do, I don't know, quite a few of these. Drawing the belly in. Nice and slow. Body is relaxed. Core is tucked in. You really want to just draw the attention down towards our bellies. Another few. We're going to do 10 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then bringing the legs in and maybe rocking gently from side to side, maybe opening the knees and circling them a little bit. Just massaging the low back. Changing direction. And then when you're ready, turning onto one side and coming back to a seated position. And we're going to do a few more things before we complete today. So you can bring your legs out in front of you. So if you want, then you have a cushion available to you. You can bring a cushion under your rear end. A lot of people like to do that. The hands can come onto the legs or onto the floor at either side, and we're lifting, we're really pressing up through the crown of the head. And as I talked about when we're in the kitchen, the heart is always lifted. So as we hinge forward, the heart and head stay lifted. And early if you're doing this early, as I am, the body doesn't have very much flexibility in the morning, or as much. I wouldn't say I was ever very flexible, but I have less in the morning. So my body just stops me right here. I'm not going any farther. And I'm just reaching. The energy is reaching from my heart towards my toes. The shoulders are down and back. And I'm using my breath. So once you kind of landed where the body takes you, you can keep the heart lifted for as long as you'd like. And then you can experiment with just allowing the head to go, letting the shoulders roll in toward one another a little bit. And now you're hanging loosely over the legs. Breathing here. See if you can just really soften and just let the body be ever so relaxed. There's no place to get to. If you find that you're reaching with your arms, bend into the elbows and just let the arms be relaxed. And if you want to work the stretch, so to speak, then pressing the crown of the head out towards the toes is the way to go. And breathing. Taking another moment or two. And then slowly allowing yourself to unfold, bringing the hands onto the floor behind you, bringing the feet up onto the floor in front, and then lifting all the way up. And you can decide how far is comfortable for you to bring your hips up. You can keep your chin tucked in, or you can drop it back. Just doing a little opposing stretch here. And then slowly coming back to a seated position. And then if you're ready, we're going to do it's core strengthening and balancing. So if you'd like to join me, bring your arms around underneath your legs. You can walk your toes back so the toes are just off the floor. You're finding a balance point on your tail, and you can pause here. If you would like more challenge, you can bring your feet up so that the legs are parallel to the floor. And you can stay here. The arms can stay on the legs. Or if you would like to give yourself even more challenge, you can bring your hands away from your legs. See if you can let the belly do the work instead of your thighs. Or you can keep your hands like this and reaching, really reaching, no matter what position you're in, really reaching up with your heart. Taking another moment or two, breathing, and then releasing down and shaking out the legs. Beautiful. So with the right leg out straight, the invitation is to cross your left foot over the leg, wrap your right arm around, reach the fingertips out, and sweep it all the way around until your hand lands on the floor. So we're turning the rib cage and the shoulders to the left. And if it's possible, you can look over your left shoulder. You can certainly keep your head neutral, but you are welcome to look over your shoulder. And breathing here, feeling the right rib cage reaching towards the left thigh. And breathing. Taking another moment or two. And then coming back to center. Releasing that leg, crossing the right leg over the left, wrapping the left arm around, And then we're sweeping the arm, the right arm around behind you so you can feel that rib cage, that left set of ribs pressing towards the right thigh. And then you can keep your head more neutral, or you can look over your right shoulder. And take another moment here. Breathing. And then releasing around and taking a pause. So we're coming to the end of class. I don't have a clock available to me right now, so I'm not sure what time it is. But the invitation here is to come down onto your back and take a moment to just become aware of the sensation of your body being held by the surface below it. And allow your breath to deepen. And you can certainly check in with your body. Is there another way in which it would like to move? Is there something else it needs? So feeling free to move in whatever way feels right to your body. And you can do that. And then when you feel complete, come into a resting posture. You don't have to be on your back. You can be sitting or on your side or belly. But whatever position you're in, see if you can just take a few conscious deep breaths. Hands on the belly, you might feel that breath come deeply into the belly. And maybe exhaling with a little sigh. And maybe two more of those. Inhaling deeply. And one more time, deep breath into the belly. And then expanding your hands and then exhaling with a sigh. And letting the arms come down onto the floor. Letting your mind just follow the natural rhythm of your breath. And just allowing yourself to be in stillness now. Fully supported by the surface below you. And the invitation is for you to stay in this resting form called Shavasana for as long as you like. Feeling free to take as much time as you need. And while you are in stillness, I will bid you farewell and just say thank you very much for joining in this virtual class. I hope to be able to see you all in person before too long. But in the meantime, I will be offering these classes through Berkshire Yoga, Dance, and Fitness. This is called Easy Does It Yoga, if you didn't know that. And thank you again for being with me this morning. Blessings and namaste.